Hello, you're tuning in the English News Bulletin on QPVN channel. I'm Nguyen, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. President LUONG joins New Year Festival in Lai Châu Province. Vietnamese and Lao Prime Ministers co-chaired the 47th Intergovernmental Meeting. European businesses confident in Vietnam's economic prospects. On the morning of January the 9th in Ho Chi Minh City, Party General Secretary To Lâm had a meeting with former party and state leaders, exemplary veteran cadres, and representatives of intellectuals, scientists, and artists in southern provinces and cities. At the meeting, the participants thanked the party, state, and relevant agencies for giving them due attention. They proposed to create favorable conditions for the artists to continuously develop and make more of their contribution to the national development. Listening to the delegates' opinions, the party chief praised the intellectuals, scientists, and artists for contributing their valuable ideas and wisdom to the national construction. He voiced his hope that the intellectuals and scientists would make stronger contributions, joining hands with the whole party, people, and military to successfully achieve the country's strategic goals. Party General Secretary To Lâm affirmed that the party and state would continue to give the best conditions for them to make more important contributions to the national growth. As part of the Border Guard Spring Warms Heart of Border Residents Program 2025, on the afternoon of January the 9th, President LUONG visited and extended Lunar New Year greetings to the people in Pathan Commune, Sinh Ho District, Lai Châu Province. The event saw the attendance of General Phan Văn Giang, Minister of National Defense, Deputy Prime Minister Hồ Đức Phước, leaders of central agencies and Lai Châu Province, and representatives of agencies and units of the Ministry of National Defense. Organized annually by the Vietnam Border Guard in coordination with localities and units since 2016, the Border Guard Spring Warms Heart of Border Residents program aims to bring warm day to people in border areas. As part of the program organized in Pathan Commune, Sinh Ho District, Lai Châu Province, Presidents LUONG and leaders of the government, the Ministry of National Defense, and Lai Châu provincial authorities visited wounded soldiers Nguyễn Văn Hiển. Visiting the area where free health checkups and medications provided to local residents, President LUONG inquired after the people and highly appreciated the significance of these activities. Witnessing traditional cultural and sport activities to celebrate the Lunar New Year by the locals, President LUONG expressed his delight at the development of the people's living standard in border areas. Directly presenting breeding cows to needy households in the locality, the president hopes that the people would escape poverty and earn a sustainable, prosperous life. On behalf of the party and state leaders, President LUONG presented day gifts to the authorities, people, and armed forces of Pathan Commune, Sinh Ho District, Lai Châu Province. Sending best wishes to the local authority and people, President LUONG asked the locality to continuously preserve and promote patriotism, resilience, bravery, industriousness, and the spirit of mutual support, promote national unity bloc, arouse the aspiration to build a prosperous and beautiful locality. The armed forces, including the Lai Châu Provincial Border Guard, need to focus on well-performing the task of defense and security assurance, affirming managing and protecting the border areas, building a peaceful, stable, friendly, cooperative, and developing borderline, and building a prosperous and stronger border areas. The same day, in Vientiane of Laos, Vietnamese Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính and his Lao counterpart Son Say Siphandon co-chaired the 47th meeting of the Vietnam-Laos Inter-Governmental Committee for Bilateral Cooperation. At the session, Prime Ministers Phạm Minh Chính and Son Say Siphandon affirmed the growing trust and depth of the Vietnam-Laos great friendship, special solidarity, and comprehensive cooperation, which serve as the core and guiding framework for bilateral ties. Closer defense and security cooperation has helped maintain political stability and public order in both nations, while ensuring a peaceful, stable, and comprehensively developed Vietnam-Laos border. Joint efforts have effectively combated various crimes, particularly transnational crimes. In 2024, bilateral trade between Vietnam and Laos marked a milestone as total trade turnover surpassed $2.2 billion, an increase of 33.9% compared to 2023. Notably, Laos achieved a trade surplus of approximately $732.7 million with Vietnam. The two sides also reviewed and discussed measures to promote cooperation in such major projects as the Vietnam-Laos Friendship Hospital, Vũng Áng Port, Power Production and Trading Initiatives, and Hanoi-Vientiane Expressway, and the One Journey, Three Destinations. Both nations will strive for a 10 to 15% increase in bilateral trade volume in 2025 as compared to the previous year. This strategic push aims to achieve a significant milestone of $5 billion in trade turnover. Besides, they will focus on addressing infrastructure connectivity challenges and position agriculture and rural development as a pillar of the bilateral economic cooperation. Priority will be given to improving the quality of education, training, cooperation, and human resources development, with the Vietnamese government continuing to providing 1,460 scholarships for Lao officials and students to study in Vietnam, while sending teachers to Laos to teach Vietnamese. In conclusion, the two prime ministers stressed that they will drastically direct ministries, sectors, agencies, localities, and competent units to effectively concretize these signed agreements. The two sides expressed the confidence that the meeting's success will serve as a new catalyst for deeper and more substantive cooperation, further cementing the great friendship, special solidarity, and comprehensive collaboration between Vietnam and Laos in the coming time. Right after the meeting, the two prime ministers witnessed the signing and exchange of several cooperation agreements, including that on a cooperation plan between the two governments in 2025, a power purchase agreement, and a cooperation plan between the two education ministries. On the morning of January the 9th in Đồng Nai Province, Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà inspected the progress of the Long Thành International Airport project, inquired after, and presented gifts to workers at the site. Lieutenant General Phạm Trường Sơn, Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, joined the inspection delegation. Long Thành International Airport is a project of special importance to the socio-economic development of the southeastern region and the whole country. To date, contractors have mobilized more than 1,200 engineers and workers with nearly 330 vehicles and equipment for construction. The Deputy Prime Minister requested the contractors and construction units to augment resources and speed up the construction progress while ensuring the quality of the project. Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà asked relevant ministries, agencies, and Đồng Nai Province to synchronously carry out auxiliary works and forecast the economic efficiency of the airport when put into operation, determined to complete the project by December 31st in accordance with the direction of the Prime Minister. Military without politics is like a tree without roots, useless and harmful. That is the instruction of President Ho Chi Minh at the Military Political School, now the Political Academy, when visiting the school on October 25, 1951. Implementing his teachings for more than 80 years, attaching special importance to the spiritual factor by building fine personality and strict discipline, under the leadership of the Communist Party of Vietnam, the Vietnam People's Army has been built with the miraculous power, like the endless potential of human beings. Lack of weapons, especially modern ones, was a common issue of all resistance movements in Vietnam when facing professional armies. How can we get weapons for an uprising? Don't be afraid of weapons shortage. Just be afraid of lack of personnel. The urgent task was to build the armed forces, train people, and expand revolutionary bases. That was said by President Ho Chi Minh at the 8th plenum of the party's Central Committee in 1941. On December 22, 1944, the Vietnam Propaganda Unit of the Liberation Army was established. The first 34 soldiers were equipped with only 2 crossbows, 17 rifles of various kinds, and 14 flintlock guns. In face of a serious shortage of weapons, promoting the spiritual strength and creative will of the revolutionary soldiers was the only right choice. Discipline creates unity. Uncle Ho said it makes all people as one. Then the power here is the power of unity, the power of solidarity, synergy, the power of military manner, military discipline. All forces with the same mind will create an unstoppable power. Officers and soldiers on the forefront must constantly study, train, and learn from experience, know how to maximize the usefulness of weapons in their hands. No matter how powerful a weapon is, if it is not flexibly exploited, a cannon is just a piece of iron. Weapons are just inanimate objects created by humans. Putting politics before military, valuing people more than weapons. But it does not mean that Ho Chi Minh underestimated the role of weaponry. With the spirit of self-reliance, on September 15, 1945, the Department of Military Ordnance was formed under the Ministry of National Defense, where talent returning from abroad to take up key positions and forces being gathered to research, manufacture, and innovate material. Meanwhile, the strength of the nation was well combined with the strength of the times, taking advantage of the international support to equip the military. Human first means the human factor determines victory. Weapons follow means the weapon must be used suitably, skillfully, and effectively by the people. With such thought, President Ho Chi Minh and the Communist Party of Vietnam properly resolved the relationship between people and weapons to gradually improve the fighting strength of the Revolutionary Army, moving towards the final victory. Coming up next, Homeland Spring 2025 affirms determination for national growth. European businesses confident in Vietnam's economic prospects. Homeland Spring, an annual program for the overseas Vietnamese to celebrate the Lunar New Year, will take place from January the 18th to the 20th. This year, its duration will gather some 1,500 people who are overseas Vietnamese, their families, and domestic delegates. This was announced at the press meeting hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on January the 9th at the State Committee for Overseas Vietnamese Affairs. The Homeland Spring 2025 themed Vietnam Growing in a New Era is co-organized by the State Committee for Overseas Vietnamese Affairs under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Hanoi Municipal People's Committee. President LUONG and his spouse will host a number of meaningful activities for the overseas Vietnamese, such as offering incense to the ancestors at Thăng Long Imperial Citadel or releasing carbs on the Day of the Kitchen Gods. In particular, the Homeland Spring Art Exchange Program with the theme Vietnam Growing in the New Era will be held at the National Convention Center in Hanoi on the evening of January the 19th and be broadcast live on the national television. In addition to the activities hosted by the state president, the program will feature other activities hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for 100 outstanding overseas Vietnamese. The program will affirm the close connection between overseas Vietnamese and the homeland, thereby continuing to prove the sentiment and care of the party and state for the overseas Vietnamese community, while promoting the patriotism and encouraging the overseas Vietnamese to preserve the cultural identity, traditions, and language of the nation. According to Eurocharm, the Business Confidence Index in Vietnam in the fourth quarter of 2024 reached its highest level over the past more than 2 years. The latest survey results show 42% of respondents view the current business climate positive, while 56% foresee macroeconomic improvements. The chairman of Eurocharm Vietnam highlighted this as a clear sign showing increasing confidence of European businesses in Vietnam's economic prospects. The new report also rated Vietnam as a spotlight in terms of investment, with 75% of surveyed European business leaders recommending Vietnam as an ideal investment destination. And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch the news again at QPVN.vn. Now, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.